top of the world, about to jump above it. Take it straight to the moon, 'cause we know how to rock it. Ain't no thing you can do, ain't no way to stop it. Now you're feeling it too, let's get it started. Throw your hands in the air while the beat is dropping. Acting like you don't care when everybody's watching. Just keep whipping your hair like that, you got it. Yeah, you're feeling it too, let's get it started. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Off the meter, turn it up, blow the speakers, make them all to believers. Break through the surface, tell them open the curtains, give them all what they wanted. Yeah, now let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. I'm ready. Are you ready, ready? I'm ready. Let's get it started. Yeah, yeah. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Let's go. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Give me something new. Time to break loose. Take it to another level. Now we on the move. Shout if you coming with me. Going over the limit. On your mark, keep it steady. So tell me, are you ready? I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Maine Sim Racing Series presented by mainly Ductless Heating and Air. Tonight, we go to the historic North Wilkesboro for the BNS Scrap Recycling at North Wilkesboro. And tonight, things have been switched up just a little bit, where we're not going to be running 125 laps. Instead, we're going to be running 75 laps. There's no LCQ. It's just qualifying and straight to racing, meaning we need to get through our sponsors quick before we get to the racing action. Starting things off with BNS Scrap Recycling, and as well, BCC, Bruce Caltier Carpentry, also that of Beach Ridge Barbershop, that of Crescent Lumber, also that of J&K Fuel, mainly Ductless Heating and Air, that of 4-Tier Graphics, and Wiscasset Speedway. Thank you to all the amazing sponsors that have got us prepared for tonight's racing evening. Again, it's the Maine Sim Racing Series presented by the Maine Ductless Heating and Air. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is that of John Mushton Jr. And John, I'm excited for hard racing here tonight. The field's a little bit smaller than what we've been seeing these last couple of weeks, but new year, time to see what the drivers can put on here tonight.
Yes, sir. We're going to do some racing at North Wilkesboro Speedway. This track is a storied track, a lot of history behind it, and tonight we're going to make a little bit of history ourselves, see how many cautions we don't get, Sam.
That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for the cautions to be minimized coming into tonight's race, as we're looking to have ourselves around 13 to possibly 15 drivers racing here tonight. But again, a little bit of a smaller field than what we've been usually having as practice has come to a conclusion. We're now transitioning to qualifying, where the drivers are going to be having 5 minutes to put down their fastest lap for 2 laps. And then we go into our 75-lap race. But John, at North Wilkesboro, one of the more interesting short tracks, again, historic, but also a very interesting layout compared to most other short track races.
However do you mean, Sam?
Have you ever heard of verticality? We're going up and down, going down on the front stretch and moving up on the back stretch. This course being on the side of a hill. This is interesting on how this track was made and how the drivers have to handle it here tonight. So that means a little bit less braking in some areas, a little bit more in others, but good racing overall. As right now, drivers hitting the track, getting ready for qualifying. Riding on board with the 48 of this being Brian Treadwell. Treadwell, one of the drivers I've been watching throughout practice, been struggling at turn number 2 and at turn number 4. John, been hearing from the drivers here tonight that it's very loose on the first couple of laps out of these corners, but after that, it seems to stable out a little bit more. But that's what these super late, what these super late models give. A lot of horsepower, so you've got to have that throttle control. As again, we're in the middle of qualifying, and right now, Treadwell 5th and dropping on the board down to 6th is coming across the line for his final lap. Going to be trying to best what he once had, and looking at his time, does not look like he'll be doing so with that of a 18.631. Now seeing that of Max J. Cookson, and Cookson's been one of the drivers to watch out for. You are completely all right there, John, as Max Cookson going to be on track currently. One of the drivers has actually been top of the board here recently, has been very fast. So excited to see how Cookson's going to be attacking this course, and if he can top the board here tonight. Again, we are now halfway through qualifying. They got 5 minutes put down their fastest lap for 2 laps here. As Cookson, at turn number 4, first lap going to be put down. Going to be a sub-18 time with that of a 17.958. And it looks like that's going to be Cookson's one and only time. And that's going to be topping the board. First place for that of the 39 as we move over to Matthew Burgoyne in the 38 as he'll be starting his qualifying moments here. And for that of Matthew Burgoyne, during practice was the top driver with speed. And he's going to be looking to try to top the boards with a lot of these drivers. And just like that in one session, tried to put a lap time down, didn't feel comfortable with it. And now changing numbers, the 82, it's Devin Landry. Was formerly the 54, but now has moved over to the 82 and coming out of turn number 4 for his first lap time. It's looking like a good one, pretty similar to Cookson. As we wait for the time to come across, it's going to be a 17.9.33, topping the board by 0.025 seconds over Cookson. Devin Landry topping the board for himself as drivers have less than a minute and a half to put down the fastest time. Burgoyne giving it another go here, and this is going to be his one and only time coming across. Matthew Burgoyne, not as fast as you would hope, a little bit slower, but Matthew Burgoyne, it's going to be one of those drivers to watch out for, as he'll actually have to start from the rear of the field after winning at Irwindale, so he'll be forced to start in the back half, in the back of the field with the EOL. As here comes that of Hethcloth, who's going to be coming with himself, the 32, Jacob, out of turn number 4. Going to be one of the last drivers to qualify for his first time, and looks to be his only time. Going to be an 18.803 as it gets reset. Actually going to be an 18.807, as that is going to be the best for the 32, up to 13th on the board. 14 drivers to put down a time. We'll see how many more want to do so, but the time's running out. 30 seconds left before we get to racing here at North Wilkesboro. These drivers all getting set. It is the Maine Sim Racing Series presented by mainly Ductless Heating and Air. As tonight, it is your B&S Scrap Recycling at North Wilkesboro Speedway. We're excited for it. John, qualifying's done, and we think that you're going to be coming back. How are you feeling about tonight's race? A little bit short, only 75 laps here tonight.
75 laps at North Wilkesboro. Should go pretty fast, unless we have a bunch of cautions, which I don't think we will. This is a really great set of guys here. Sam, you and I have been broadcasting these races for a few weeks now. These guys can get it done when they really put their minds to it. This is an open setup track. An open setup series, and this track does present some challenges, but I think these guys can handle it.
Actually, I got clarification on that. It is actually a fixed series for these drivers, and also the setup they're going to be using is the default one, so they are not using a custom setup. As we are getting ready, drivers are getting gridded up, and we'll take a look at where they stand coming into the night. It's going to be Devin Landry in the 82, topping the board with Max Cookson to his outside for row number 1. Row 2, it's Ashton Burgess and Tyler Jordan in the 29 to the outside. Row number 3, it's going to be that of Jason Rickards in the 9 with that of Cal Mooney in the 90 to the outside of row 3. Row 4, it's going to be that of Nathan Barth as well as Chris Fortier in the 23. Finishing out Row number 5, it's Matthew Burgoyne and Tyler Conley, but Burgoyne most likely is going to be given and has been given an EOL. He'll have to start at the end of the line.
Row 6 finds Ed Conley in the 11 car. His outside Brian Treadwell, 48. Row 7, we got Jacob Hethfield in the 32 and Chris York, 86 car. Row 8 finds Sean Kimball bringing up the backside of the field there. That's going to finish out our lineup for us. There's Sam.
I'm excited for tonight. We're waiting on 2 drivers to still load in, Ed Conley and also Sean Kimball. And I got to say, Sean usually is race control. He was tempted to come in and race here tonight, but he's going to be running race control still here tonight. 14 drivers going to be hitting the course. Devin Landry, Cookson going to be your front 2. But John, with the fact that Matthew Burgoyne, who won back at Irwindale last time that we saw these drivers in the super late models, we're going to have to see Cam Burgoyne fight his way through this field as he'll have to start all the way back in 14th position.
We've seen him do it before. We saw him do it, what week was it, last week, week before, when he got a speed penalty and had to come up through the field. That shouldn't be a problem for him. We got a smaller field this time too, Sam, so that's another thing to keep in mind. We're going to be seeing laps, sub 18-second laps on North Wilkesboro, 75 laps. This should be a quick and clean race, theoretically speaking.
That's what we're hoping for, is for it to be quick and clean. For these drivers, no fast repair, so if they get any type of damage, they're going to have to deal with it here tonight and come into pit road if there's a caution to get repairs done. And also, they do have an extra set of tires in pit road if they deem that they want to come into pit road and get service done. But besides that, it's going to be 75 laps of hard racing for all these drivers. Devin Landry, Cookson, Burgoyne, Jordan, Rickard's going to be your top 5. Getting ready to go green here as they're on the back stretch. Devin Landry, we've seen him win a couple of times. We've seen Cookson also win here this season. Who else can add their name? We've also seen Burgoyne get a win. Can someone else notch into the win column? As the pace car rolls off, it's time for us to go green for the B&S Scrap Recycling here at North Wilkesboro. We are green, and there they come. Going into turn number 1, it's going to be Cookson. Also, that of Landry, side by side, coming out of turn number 2.
Side by side still a little bit. No advantage really down for the inside line. That outside line with Landry on the outside really holding down Fort right there. And, Cookson on the outside, Landry down on the inside. Cookson still put up a great fight right there, Sam.
They are certainly battling a little bit of door banging through the center of the corner and coming in at turns 3 and 4. This is where you're going to be coming down it, and the driver's got to be focusing in, staying low onto the white line, but don't touch the grass. Crossover move. Here comes Cookson on the inside, trying to get to the quarter panel. He's gotten there, going to be forcing up Devin Landry. But, John, the longer this run goes on and the race goes, that outside lane will start to get a little bit faster, but it's going to take some time for it to be there. As here comes Cookson with a great run through 3 and 4 and onto the front stretch.
It's been a few weeks since we saw anybody besides his teammate Matthew Burgoyne give Devin Landry such a fight right now. And he's definitely got his hands full of that 39 car of Jay Cookson right there. Tell you what, Sam, this is pretty entertaining to watch. Look at that power move on the outside. He takes that lead right there. Man, I thought Cookson was going to give a little bit of bumper, too.
A little bit of a bumper, and with these cars, if you give a bumper, you easily can turn somebody, so they got to be careful. And surprising to see, because of the hard racing for the lead position, Tyler Jordan's been able to keep himself in close proximity of a front 2. Here comes on the inside, Cookson once again, a great launch, but the outside lane has been where you can prevail. And John, we've seen this throughout the season and throughout this year. If there is side-by-side racing at these short tracks, the outside lane is where you want to be in those final couple of laps.
Especially here at North Wilkesboro, you see those dotted lines there, Sam. Usually you want to put your car somewhere between the second and third set of lines up. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Middle to high line is what I'm trying to say here. I would have gotten there eventually. Either tomorrow or the next day I'd have gotten there.
It's been a weird day. I've had to reset, had to trim down the laps because of the amount of drivers that's shown up. So we're a little thrown off, but we're certainly glad to be watching this great racing that's going on. Jordan now going to be pinching in and trying to get in as well. Cookson sideways, Jordan up into the wall. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, you can see your race get a little bit detrimental. The 22 still running out there. I mean, the 29, excuse me, still out on track. Now it's going to be side-by-side between Ashton Burgess and that of Tyler Jordan and also Kyle Mooney. And Mooney's been a driver that we've seen run well. Usually has to fight through the LCQ. No LCQ here tonight. So the 90 gets to stay in the top 5 currently right now. But her first yellow comes out, wrecking on that of entry of turn 3.
Come on, guys. What's on here? There's 15 cars on lap. There's no need for wrecking.
Well, one of the big things, though.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's going to be that of Chris Fortier bringing this one out.
I still can't believe the 22 car was able to get up on the wall. Oh, hello, fence. Oh, hello.
Well, John, we're hearing from the drivers that it's very loose out here, and we're going to be seeing from the 23, Chris Fortier. Again, Fortier, on a very interesting just note from hearing about Fortier, we were notified races on a controller, and so there are certain aspects of racing that, you got advantages where you can try to save these cars with a controller, but sometimes you just get loose, and it's difficult to hold on. The grass, not your friend, and comes drifting up and just contact there.
Oh.
Hate to see that type of a hit.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. And you're right. We've been saying this for weeks that he's on a controller to do his driving, which I find freaking amazing. But I still, like I said, I'm still shocked that is he 22 or 29? I think he's 29 on the scoring, but 22 on the track. And he was able to get up in the wall like that and hang on to his spot. That was just insane.
Yeah, I was messing with these cars throughout. I was messing with these cars and trying to get a sense of them. I actually got into the wall a couple of times. These cars are very durable if you hit the right spot of the wall where you can come back down, and if you're letting off the gas, you can try to keep it steady. That's exactly what Tyler Jordan did. But as we've been watching, and you can see from our ticker, when the drivers come across the line, caution laps are not counting. So for these drivers, they're going to be, if we have a lot of cautions that come out, John, this race could be put into a time crunch if we have multiple cautions coming from this point to the end of the race.
That's very true, Sam, and we don't want to see that. I don't like seeing races decided by a clock. You know what I mean? So let's hope these guys can get a handle on this loose setup you're telling us about, and hopefully we'll go green all the way from here.
We're hoping for it. Drivers going to be side by side. It's going to be Devin Landry, Max Cooks, and Tyler Jordan, Ashton Burgess, that of Jason Rickards, Kyle Mooney, Matthew Burgess, Nathan Barth, as well as Chris York, and Ed Conley going to be your top 10. We are green once again for the V&S Scrap Recycling here at North Wilkesboro. They're side by side, moving forward and making some big moves they're hoping to make. As here comes that of Cookson with a great launch on the outside. The 39 in the preferred spot as they go into 3 and 4.
39's really loving that outside groove right now. He's definitely giving Landry a run for his money on that outside. Oh, we got a little contact between the two of them. He got wicked loose right there, maintained his, we have to save it.
I mean, the fact that they held on, that's the big thing. That could have been very detrimental for the whole entire field. You don't want to see your leaders making contact and wrecking one another, because when everyone else is jam-packed, there's a chance of more drivers being involved. Jordan's going to be swapped behind as they're still side-by-side for the lead as they continue to race on Ashton Burgess, a driver that has shown to be quick at moments throughout this season, but just hasn't had the consistency at the end of the races. He's now pressuring our front two that continue to stay side-by-side. John, this is the racing we love to see short track, is when the leaders continue to race side-by-side, but it looks like Cookson might finally get the right run here in the next 2 laps.
He might, but I'll tell you what, these lap after lap after lap, these two have been fighting side-by-side. Only a little bit of contact earlier, and I mean, it speaks to their skill that they were able to not wreck the entire field doing that. It's amazing, really, to see Landry be the one hanging in down there on the bottom side.
Yeah, and also, as we're continuing to watch this side-by-side racing, driver back in 5th behind the yellow and pink machine as they're just door banging off one another up front. Matthew Burgoyne all the way back from 15th, now up to 5th. Started this race with an EOL. The 38's on the move to catch up to our front runners, but yellow strikes, wrecking the back. As it's going to be on the backstretch, similar spot that we saw our first caution come out. This is going to be that of Brian Treadwell is going to bring out this one, the 48, as we see him race around the drivers that were involved in earlier cautions. Around the 31 of Tyler Conley is that of Treadwell. And on the outside, you can get a good run onto the backstretch, but that outside wall, not your friend, and just like that, you can see it wrecking around.
Hello, Wall. How are you today? My goodness. And that's what Jordan could have had happen to him, but he didn't. So he got
I think for the big thing for Jordan's, he didn't have a driver underneath him. But, John, when we were watching that replay, there is that little kink on the backstretch where the outside wall kind of has a divot in. If you hit that divot, that is going to end your race immediately, as we see here, drivers going by. That divot right there, if any driver hits that, that is a race-over incident. And we've seen multiple drivers almost hit that divot. That is going to be a scary thing to watch all night long.
I tell you what, I did a 87 league, 87 cars league here last summer, right after the 87 cars came out. And that thing will grab you and not let you go. I mean, I went from, full speed off of 2 to a dead stop right there, man. So thankful it was a simulator, because I think I probably would have had a serious case of whiplash if not.
Yeah, no, you do not want to deal with that type of a whiplash. That would, you'd have a pretty bad concussion or a headache for a while if you had that type of incident happen in real life.
A basal skull fracture is what they call that.
We're just so thankful for all the safety measures that all the racing has developed in these last couple of years, because if we did see a wreck like that, that would be terrible to see. As drivers side by side, some drivers have come to pit road to get service done. That of Brian Treadwell is still in pit road getting service done, becoming the first driver to go a lap down. We have seen that of Tyler Conley as well as Tyler Jordan. All coming to pit road under our first caution, getting some repairs done, but pace car lights are off. We're going to be going this time by. It's going to be that of Max Cookson, Devin Landry, Kyle Moody, Ashton Burgess, and Nathan Barth, as well as Matthew Burgoyne, going to be your top 6, getting ready to go green here as the pace car about to roll off. It's tonight. We are watching the Maine Sim Racing Series presented by mainly Ductless Heating and Air, and we are green for the B&S Scrap Recycling here in North Wilkesboro. Into turn number 1, it's going to be Devin Landry, Cookson, both side by side, and it's Cookson with the advantage out of 1.
I'm surprised Cookson took the inside line on that restart, but it seems to be paying off for him as he's got the lead right now. He's able to actually clear Devin Landry for the first time tonight, really, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a moment with what does Devin Landry have to try to fight back on the fat of the 39. Cookson's doing well, and Cookson, the last time we saw him racing in the Maine Sim Racing Series, he got a victory. We'll see if he can double down once again. And also, we're seeing a lot more of drivers single filing out, and if anything, John, I gotta say, this might be because of the tire wear that we're seeing from the drivers. Green flag racing, green flag flags are the only laps that are counting. Pace laps do not, so the drivers racing hard. But there's another quick yellow. 2 cars involved in this one on the backstretch. It's Tyler Jordan and also that of Chris Fortier.
Looks like Tyler Jordan's luck finally ran out there, Sam.
And we got into the wall one time. Let's see, this time we got the 22 on screen, 29 on our ticker. Going to be side by side with that of Chris Fortier. And both drivers going to be coming out of turn number 2, and Jordan comes. Oh, actually, there's a little bit of contact before. Oh, there's that kick I was talking about. And just in a blink of an eye, both drivers hard contact. And that is that's just a racing incident. Drivers trying to avoid one another. Doesn't make sense. I don't think
Tyler knew that there was a car out there. He thought he was clear. That's unfortunate, man. Watch this impact. God, this is going to hurt.
Yeah, it's going to be that Heathcote in front. The 32 gets loose, trying to react to get by, and just...
Okay. So I see what happened there. It wasn't really Tyler's fault. He saw somebody in front of him getting out of shape and was trying to, not hit that driver. And unfortunately, there was somebody to his outside in the form of Chris Fortier there, Sam.
Yeah, and when you've got a driver that gets that loose in front of you, your whole entire goal is to avoid and predict where that driver is going to go. And sometimes when you see a driver get that loose, there's always a knack of drivers trying to overcorrect, and that kind of snaps the car back in front of the rest of the field. So I think that's why we were seeing Jordan kind of overreacting, because he was not sure if that car in front of him was going to overcorrect and snap back in front of him. But instead, they continued to drift into the grass, and Jordan drifted up and collected that of Christopher Tier involved in this one. So hard contact for the 29 and the 23, both in pit road. And again, no fast repair in this series, so these drivers are going to have to spend time in pit road, and it could be anywhere from sitting in pit road for just 2 minutes to sitting in pit road for 20 minutes to get repairs done. And right now, both Tyler Jordan and Christopher Tier still in pit road. As up front lights are off, it's going to be same drivers once again here, John. It's going to be that of Cookson and also Landry.
Yep, and once again, Cookson takes the inside line for his lane choice. It worked out for him last restart there, Sam, so we'll see how it goes this time by.
Yeah, and this is the B&S Scrap Recycling North Wilkesboro Speedway race for the Maine Sim Racing Series presented by Maine Douglas Heating and Air. A little bit of wheel spin and drivers getting collected with one another further back, going into turn number 1. Up front, that we stay green as drivers still backing up, getting going again. That's going to be Nathan Barth, who finally gets moving, but ahead of them, already in the lead pack. On the outside, Kyle Mooney's trying to make a pass for second place as Cookson losing ground as Devin Landry makes a power move for himself.
I don't know if we missed something there with Cookson in that 39 car, but you said it, man. He's definitely got his hands full with the 90 of Kyle Mooney. Meantime, Kyle Mooney's got his hands full with Burgoyne. The back of Burgoyne started dead last in the field because he won an event last time by. So he is all the way up to 4th by now, Sam. And I told you, start of the show, buddy, it was not going to take him very long to make his way up to the front.
Absolutely not. It was almost a month ago at Irwindale when we saw Matthew Burgoyne getting the win in that race, and so it gave him an EOL coming into North Wilkesboro, and now pressuring for 3rd place. Kyle Mooney, who's been sitting in 3rd and 4th for most of the night, now being pressured and trying to hold on before the lead. Cookson giving a little bit of a left tap to Devin Landry, but they hold on, continue to race on, and the 82 has to figure out how to either pull away or just defend and hope that rear end holds on as we right on board with Max Cookson. John, so riding on board with the 39. This track, seeing these drivers, Dylan is a little bit of contact more coming out of the corner, but the elevation change going up and downhill into these corners.
Absolutely. Now, that slip up right there is going to give Mooney a chance, well, I thought it would anyway, to get down on the inside of Cookson, but Cookson shuts the door on him. But man, that was a great view right there, that in-car shot. Thank you so much, Cody. That in-car shot right there really gives you a perspective on what these guys see when they're getting around this track.
Oh, absolutely. And now we're going to be seeing who's going to use the next bumper, who's going to use their chrome horn. How patient can we see Matthew Burgoyne? Again, this race originally scheduled to be 125 laps, got cut down to 75 laps because of the amount of drivers that showed up here tonight. So instead of seeing this race go longer, where we're expecting the patience, I mean, at this point, if it was 125 laps, we would say, hey, yeah, sitting behind someone, you got plenty of time to make these moves. But John, we're almost getting closer and closer halfway. You've got to make these moves now.
Absolutely. I mean, we're already at lap 27 out of 75, third of the way through this race. And, you know, not just get your way up there or make your way up to the front, but you've also got to do it without really wearing the car out, wearing those tires out. So Burgoyne's a master at doing that. We just sit back and watch him do his thing, and it's just fun to watch.
I want to give updates to drivers further back that were involved with earlier incidents. Tyler Jordan going to be our first DNF officially of the night as we continue to watch the battle for the lead. Here comes Cookson right on the back bumper again, almost giving a bump, same spot as he did just 4 laps ago, but instead just lingering, pressuring, and trying to force a mistake on Devin Landry. But John, watching Devin Landry and Burgoyne, the way that those two raced early in this season, and the contacts that we've seen, I gotta say, Devin Landry's got some nerves of steel on the fact that he's being hunted, hounded, pounded on the rear end, and he's still holding strong in the lead.
Well, you know, that should tell you a lot about the caliber of the driver we're dealing with at the Maine Sim Racing Series. Look at all the pressure that he's getting put on him right now by Cook back there in second place. And it takes a hell of a driver to deal with that and still maintain a good running line.
Third.
Contact between Burgoyne and Mooney sends Mooney around, and we have a caution on track at the halfway point, Sam.
And in a blink of an eye, things change as Kyle Mooney was trying to hold on. We were talking about the pressure for the lead. The pressure for third also was just as relentless. But Matthew Burgoyne talked about patience. How long was that going to last? Well, not very long. We've seen the 38 cut his way through the field, dives it down low. Just one little bump, and gotta say, John, both drivers looking for the same real estate, and it was that of Matthew Burgoyne that holds on strong. But we'll see, because of, where the drivers were, will we see anyone come to pit road? Almost saw some. Again, these drivers have a set of tires, so they can use a set if they want. And also, we'll see if Matthew Burgoyne gets penalized for that contact or not for putting out this yellow.
They've done it in the past. They do penalize guys they feel, contributed to the caution like that. So we'll see. I mean, it took Matthew Burgoyne about 20 laps. Go ahead.
And we just got word, Matthew Burgoyne, you see him low and slow. EOL has been given to 38. So, John, he just cut his way through the whole entire field in 30 laps to get up to third. And in a blink of an eye, he's now all the way back to that 12th position.
So here's what he needs to do now. If he hasn't done it already, since he's already starting in the back of the field, we're at the halfway point. I jump in, get that fresh set of tires on my car, and use that to my advantage.
Drivers that are trying to use that advantage going to be that of Jason Rickards, Heathcoth, as well as that of Kyle Mooney's. All going to be coming in, taking 4 sets of tires, and also topping off with fuel for all those teams. And so we'll see how well and what the difference is going to be for tires and also time-wise for drivers that are on these 30-lap old tires and those that not. And, John, you just threw out the thought of coming in and getting tires. Matthew Burgoyne into pit road, taking those sets, so he listened to what you just said.
Hey, sometimes I get it right. Every once in a blue moon, I'll get it right, man. But no, I was as a short track driver that I've done this before a few times in real life. These little shootout races like this. Even though you think to yourself the tires aren't going to make that big difference, they really, really do. If you look at our driving times, say I'm this far into the race, they're down almost a second. So there's definitely a second difference between brand new tires and 30-lap old tires. So it's going to be up to Burgoyne now to, like I said, use that advantage he's got, get back up to the field, but at the same time, try not to drive the new off those tires too fast. That makes sense.
Well, John, here's another thing to be looking out for. Matthew Burgoyne only taking right side tires on this pit stop, only going with two on this stop. So, hey, you like that call or you don't like it as we're getting ready to go green here?
I disagree with it. I would have gone ahead and taken all 4, but hey, I'm not the guy behind the wheel. How do you tell if he took right or left? I don't see that.
I was watching his pit stop happen, and I only saw those right sides go up, and it came down, and he took off immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, I was watching it myself. So as the pace car is pulling off, we're getting ready to go green once again as we are trying to get to halfway. Drivers up front, got a great start in the middle of the field. A little bit of shimmying as top wheel spin's going to be an issue for them to watch out for. But Devin Landry, also Cookson, still on top of one another. As further back, I believe that was that of Treadwell, who was all the way up the 3rd lane. But this battle for the lead, Cookson doing his best to go for the lead and gets it done on the inside.
He gets it done, but oh, look at that. He scoots way up high. He blew the entry on that corner right there. That's going to let Landry back down low and possibly take the lead away. God, we have seen a great fight between these two tonight, haven't we, Sam?
Oh, absolutely. They've been practically side by side for the majority of the race. They continue to stay side by side. If anything, that last lap could have had a Dale Earnhardt Jr. impression, just screaming slide job with the way Cookson threw it in there. But it did not stick. And now Devin Landry right back to the point. And Ashton Burgess now pressuring Cookson. Here comes that of the X machine on the car with the 34 on our ticker.
That Speed Racer X or Racer X, I think. I don't know. Great looking car, though. You're right. He's up in there. He says, look, fellas, you've had this run all day long. I want to be a piece of this. Yeah,
if he had that scheme in black and yellow, I would say, yeah, he's Racer X, trying to put on a show for sure. As even back watching the drivers cut their way through, you see that of Kyle Mooney. These are the drivers that decided to take 4 sets of tires and trying to move themselves forward. But they're kind of boxed in as, oh boy, there goes that of the 32 into the inside wall. We can stay green. Sideways off-track incident And now we got to be careful. Will we see our leaders come across? And he's going to take a tow as we move back up front to our leaders. Devin Landry cooks in, yellow flag waves as another incident strikes here.
That's unfortunate. Come on, fellas. Ugh.
Oh, this is massive. Oh, no. There goes that wreck. But watch out for the 9 on the front stretch. John, we're about to see some tumbling.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Wow.
No, just, at least landed on all 4. So style points are there. But
And
for Jason
kept
Rickards,
going,
he
yeah.
was not wanting that type of an incident.
Grab the gears and keep on hauling. I like to see that from inside the car hitting it.
Ooh,
we got pit stops.
front runners, pit road.
Now, this will be interesting because I bet you Matt Burgoyne stays out.
I would imagine so as well. But who's going to take just 2 tires? Who's taking 4? As we're going to keep eyes on our front runners. These pit stops, you take 4 tires, it is over 24 seconds for each time. And just only on the right side. Woo! Similar strategy of what we saw from that of Matthew Burgoyne.
Yep. And I guess we'll see how it pays off for him here. What is that car? Is that car sponsored by Old Spice? I can't tell from here. It is sponsored by Old Spice.
I believe he's wanting it to be Old Spice.
All I hear is Terry Crews in those commercials.
It is actually, it is not Old Spice. It looks similar because of the paint scheme and the fact that it's gray and green. Actually, that of Barth's rocking, that of the Beach, the Beach Ridge Barbershop scheme is what the 37's rocking for himself on that hood.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks pretty similar to what an Old Spice scheme would look like out there.
Well, it's got the sail ship, the big sail ship on the nose there. You see it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought that was the old Spice ship.
It does. And honestly, I think that's the one thing about virtual racing for a lot of these drivers is that you can take sponsorships that you enjoy that are actually your sponsor, and it's like the NASCAR throwback scheme nights at Darlington where they take their actual sponsors and do retro versions of it. That's probably what these guys always put out as more drivers going to be calling it a night. The 32 Jacob Heathcott's one of the drivers that we saw initially go into the grass before this yellow came out for Jason Rickards. 32 took the tow and has decided to park it for the night, so leaving us with a total of 11 drivers still out on track that are on the lead lap, 12 that are still racing, as that of Christopher Tier was able to get repairs done back out on course, but he is currently 19 laps down as we are about to go green. Lights are out. We're going green this next time by.
Going green, and we got some new faces up front. That of brain cramp, Nathan Bart in the 37. Sorry. He's going to be on the inside there. To his outside is going to be Ed Conley at 11. Kyle Mooney, Tyler Conley, and Matthew Burgoyne bring out your top 5. If I'm those 4 guys in front of Burgoyne, I'm a little nervous.
Well, also, you got to be thinking for Devin Landry and Max Cookson. They were our front 2 for most of this race. They're now going to be trapped all the way back in 8th and 9th place. Pace cars off. We're green for the BNS. Scrap Recycling for the Maine Sim Racing, presented by Mainly Ductless and Heating and Air. We are green and up front. Barth trying to hold on. Here comes Ed Conley on the outside, but Mooney, watch out, Collington, contacted up front, and it is a complete pile jam, and here they come. More drivers piling in later on. And in a blink of an eye, John talked about it. Front runners get caught up in a wreck. It could cause a big one.
Gosh, that was ugly, too. My goodness. Let's see what happens here. It looks to me like there was a lot of tire spin for starters, Stan. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
A lot of tire spin there.
Here it is. You're going to see Mooney at Conley, contact between one another, and then it's just a complete, just a clog for everyone coming in. And both Conleys making contact with one another, Tyler and Ed, both. And for the drivers that were further back, this was not what they wanted. We're going to actually take an aerial view, all aerial views, sponsored by that of LSRTV, as that wheel spin you were talking about, it really did, give a little bit of spacing for drivers further back. But here comes the 90 and the 11, just both trying to get through, which, oh my goodness. I did not realize that. Late drivers
Burgess
coming
was
in.
That too. Landry was in that too. Oh, I just see that.
And in a blink of an eye, front runners, they they were not expecting that type of an incident, and now Devin Landry going to be still in 8th place. I'm taking a look on my end to see how much damage is on that of the 82, and there's a little bit of damage on the rear left, but primarily looking all right for that of Devin Landry. But short track racing here, John, a little bit of damage isn't going to completely ruin your night. It's when you get that engine damage when your night could be ruined in an instant.
Absolutely. The engine damage is not what you want to see. And it used to be the story with these cars, especially with the super late models, that if you got a substantial amount of nose damage, your car would overheat. But someone told me that they recently patched that out. So that's good news, because that was so frustrating. Is if you, I mean, it didn't take a whole lot of damage at all, Sam. Really, you barely visible damage, but your car just started overheating and overheating and overheating. And in fixed setup racing, there's nothing you can do about it because you can't take tape off.
Yeah, can't take tape off when it's fixed. You are just stuck with what the default settings are. And for these drivers, they're hoping that they can still survive. Again, caution laps do not count tonight, so the driver's still running around, hoping for this race to continue to stay green, as we are a little bit past the 30-minute marker. So we still have an hour left of racing if needed. So these drivers are not in a detrimental point of feeling like this race is going to be based off of time, because we've ran enough laps of green flag racing. If we do go caution after caution from here on out, we should still be good to finish out this race. As drivers up front, they're hoping that we can get a little bit more clean and green racing, as it's going to be that of Nathan Barth, Matthew Burgoyne, Max Cookson, Ashton Burgess, Devin Landry, Kyle Mooney, that of Brian Treadwell, Tyler Conley, Ed Conley, and Chris York. Going to be your top 10 drivers getting ready to go green here. Pace car is off, and we are green once again for the B&S Scrap Recycling at North Wilkesboro for the Maine Sim Racing Series presented by Mainly Ductless Heating and Air. As that of Barth tries to hold on, but there goes Burgoyne just like that. He had to do it twice here, John, but Matthew Burgoyne is now our leader going and out of turn number 4.
Move Burgoyne up to first. Cookson now takes second place away from Barth. Barth has his hands full back there. Now he's got Devin Landry on his back bumper. Landry was up there fighting at the front for most of this race. Has a little bit of minor damage, as does Burgess right there in the 34 car, Sam. These guys don't look any worse for the wear. They don't look great, but they're looking better, and they're fighting their way up front.
Well, we just saw how Devin Landry, for the first 30 laps, how well he was having to hold on to the pressure that Cookson was giving. Cookson, once again, putting the pressure on right on the back bumper. Not pushing, but now going to be putting himself on the outside quarter panel. Was trying to get close enough. Going to do a little bit of a diamond move. Get a launch out of the corner, but just not close enough. Here comes Cookson on the back bumper, and as we ride on board with Burgoyne's back bumper, yellow flag waves, caution further back. That's the 11 of Ed Conley. We see slow, as we'll take a Pulse Popper's instant replay. As the 11 was by himself, but again, these drivers, some of them had just come in to get repairs, also tires, and all by himself. There he goes. Oh. Well, Ed, we're hoping that. Luckily, he's still rolling, but that was something that the drivers noted on, though, during practice, is that it is very easy to self-spin. You just hope you don't do it, and we saw Ed Conley being one of the first drivers to really bring out a caution for a self-spin there, and he'll have to come into pit road. A couple of other drivers giving time and space to get damage repairs as well. So Ed Conley will be given an EOL penalty for bringing out this yellow. And John, as it was just a quick self-spin, these drivers up front, they're now just in passive mode, just waiting for whenever, and hopefully they can continue racing, but wait until the next yellow comes out, really.
I'm just hoping there is no more yellows at this point. I mean, I get it's North Wilkesboro. I get that the setup's a little bit loose, but come on, man. Guys, you know, if it's loose, you move your position up on the track a little bit. That's basic super late model, you know, driving. Car is loose, move up a little bit higher in the groove, get off the gas a little bit easier, be easier getting on the gas. But hey, what do I know? I'm just the announcer.
We're up in the booth. We get to see an outside perspective And sometimes our perspective is a lot nicer than what those drivers see. As when we've ridden on board, it feels very claustrophobic at times. You don't get to see very much. It's really what's in front of you. And so you're kind of hoping and banking that what the move you're making is the right one. And yeah, I mean, for a lot of these drivers, this is the super late models. These are the big boys of short track racing. They've got a lot of power in these cars. So they're going to have to be very gentle on getting onto the throttle. So if they aren't being gentle and they aren't being, gradual on getting back on the throttle on the exit of these corners, you can see what we just saw there. Self-spin by Ed Conley bringing out this most recent yellow. As again, caution laps do not count. Only when we are green they do. But up front, Matthew Burgoyne, Max Cookson, of Nathan Barth, Devin Landry, Kyle Mooney, Ashton Burgess, Brian Treadwell, as well as Tyler Conley, Chris York, and Ed Conley going to be your top 10. Jason Rickards back in 11th. We have 2 DNFs, that being Jacob Harth and Tyler Jordan, with that of Chris Fortier. Going to be the last driver racing on track, 19 laps down for the 23, who is just trying to gain as many positions as possible if anyone else decides to call it a night. As the pace car sees our drivers stack up, we're going this time by John. We're at past halfway. What has been a surprise or kind of expected that we've been watching here tonight?
Well, as far as surprises go, the 39 car definitely surprised me. I mean, we've talked about him a few times in past races, but he's never really been this strong and this powerful up front. It was definitely a surprise for me.
Well, right now, he might be your biggest surprise, but he is up front taking the lead immediately. No waiting. Was that a Max Cookson? Usually you see Devin Landry or Burgoyne when they're leading, they go up front, take away this lead immediately as we ride on board with the rear bumper of that of Burgoyne and seeing Barth keeping it close, but it's side by side between the teammates. Landry and Burgoyne got to be careful not to take each other out. Coming out, turn number 4. There goes Mooney getting loose, but luckily holds on.
I tell you what, I'm really surprised that Burgoyne's having such a hard time getting his car up to speed right here. I don't know if he slid the tires or what, but he just went from first to third in 3 laps there, man.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a wheel spin potentially there, but now we're going to be seeing how can Burgoyne try to attack. Maybe just be patient, wait and loom behind Devin Landry, as now you could say our top 3 are the 3 fastest cars of the night. We saw Cookson and Devin Landry for the first 30 laps side by side constantly through all that hard racing. And Burgoyne had to fight his way through the field, and that could be the major difference here, John. Burgoyne had to fight through the field this whole entire race, finally now in the top 3. Yes, he's taken 2 tires, but those left sides that he did not change up, those could be quite worn compared to the drivers ahead of him.
Yeah, they could be a little tired. We'll give them that, that's for sure. And tired tires equals loose tires, by the way.
Yeah, so drivers holding on for now. Top 3 in line. Not a lot of passing going on now. It seems like the patience is, oh no, as I say that, Cookson, there goes for that of Landry through the grass. No yellow comes out. We stay green, but just in a blink of an eye, Cookson gets loose, and it's Devin Landry and running in second that gets the worst of it. And again, we stay green up front. Cookson, Burgoyne, Barth going to be your top 3. Mooney now pressuring the 37.
Mooney just bouncing off the wall, but that started when I believe it was Burgoyne. No, maybe Cookson. I couldn't tell who it was. Somebody clipped the little grassy area down there on the exit of that corner, and it got him wicked loose. And man, that just did not end well for Devin Landry at all. Oh, look at this.
No.
Oh, here we go again.
Barth gets spun into the grass, continues to spin, and yellow flies. And once again, the patience level, it is being thrown away. We're coming up to 15 laps ago when we go green. It's your Pulse Poppers instant replay as see Kyle Mooney, Nathan Barth. They don't play nice coming at turn number 2.
No, they don't play nice at all here. I'm trying to see if maybe the 37, yeah, he got up into the wall. That's all that was. Mooney had no place to go. That's not nothing on him at all there. That was just that poor 37 car got up in that wall again. Oh man, that's enough to make you drink.
Man, that outside wall, biggest enemy of all the drivers here tonight. He's brought out the most damage out of everyone, and gotta say, outside wall If you were betting on the outside wall bringing out the most cautions, I think you'd be winning right now.
No doubt. I think even the pace car's got a scuff mark from the outside wall.
Oh man, it's a magnet. It just draws you in. You're just like, it's friendly. It's got a bunch of sponsors on the side of it. Maybe I could just scrub it and I'll be all right. No, it just wants to
It's a
grab you and
solid
put you
concrete.
sideways.
Like, it's not even a safer barrier. It's a concrete and steel wall from the old school days. You know what I mean?
You hit it and you're gonna be hurting the next day, or just in like a couple of minutes.
There is zero give with that wall, man. I've been to North Wilkesboro back in the day, and there's no real bouncing off of that wall. You leave a little piece of your soul and your car every time you hit that wall, man.
Oh man, the damage and memories that North Wilkesboro has brought out, and it is amazing that it is here on iRacing, allowing these drivers to get a taste of what this classic track once gave many years ago. As up front,
And
it's going to be Max Cookson. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's going to come back too. They're actually refurbishing the real life North Wilkesboro. They've allotted several $1 million for the rebuilding and repaving of this track. So we're going to get to see it again in real life, and I'm really excited about that.
I'm wondering if they're going to keep the elevation change, like we noted on there. You go up and down on this course.
That's what makes it such a unique track.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't, I'm going to be quite disappointed on that. But still, it is still an amazing track to be watching, as you've been watching here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on LSRTV. This is the Maine Sim Racing Series presented by mainly Ductless Heating and Air for the B&S Scrap Recycling here in North Wilkesboro. My name is Sam Dyer. With me, John Mushton Jr. And John, it has been a pleasure to be with you up in the booth, and as well LSRTV Studios, running all the back end. Drivers getting ready to go. And when we go green, John, 15 laps to go for. Oh, excuse me, take that back. We got coming up to 25 laps to go.
That's that
for these drivers. It's math's hard. We were expecting 125 laps. That's once we get 25 laps to go, it's past lap 100. Making us change up the math.
Brother, I hear you.
Pace car is off. We don't need to do the math. We just get to watch some racing, as it is going to be that of Cookson, Burgoyne, green, and they're Will spinning behind. Got to be careful there, going into turn number 1, and Mooney's already sideways, drifting up just slightly, but it's Cookson out of turn number 2.
That's the third restart in a row we've seen Burgoyne spin those tires. I don't know if he had too much time off during the break or what, man, but this is not the Matthew Burgoyne we're used to seeing on restarts on these short tracks, Sam.
Oh, no, not at all. And now going to be right on the back bumper, wondering if he can pressure. I mean, we have not seen Burgoyne make a clean pass yet on Cookson, but we drop further back. This is where we find Devin Landry, who was caught up in the wreck again. Scuffle between our top 3 that put the 82 back here. You also got Ed Conley. Side by side is that of Treadwell and Landry. Rickards is well involved with this, battling in the middle of the field. All these drivers battling for 6th place currently, as they're still side by side. But John, when you're stuck back here, there's nowhere to go. You're kind of having to be forced to go the outside lane. But Landry now finding space to get under the 9.
Landry's looking for anywhere to go right now to try and get by some of these cars. It's very frustrating, Sam, when you're bogged down back in the middle of the pack like that. And you know that using your bumper to move somebody might result in you getting EOL. It can be very frustrating.
Absolutely. As we move up front, we're seeing these drivers. It's still Cookson, Burgoyne, Kyle Mooney is going to be your top 3. Ashton Burgess and Tyler Conley going to be your top 5. As still the 38 hounding, pressuring, just trying to make a mistake on Cookson. But we threw it out to Devin Landry. I threw it out to Devin Landry's got nervous to steal. I got to say, for Cookson, with how much that he had to pressure and keep on going at the front runners when he was running in second, as the leader, it's got to be feeling nice knowing you got fresh air and you're running your own race.
Oh, yeah, he's got to be loving that clean air, Sam. He gets to pick and choose where he enters and exits the corners at. And that's all you can ask for right there. And, wow, I'll tell you what, he's using every inch of this track he can right now, trying to find some way, find a little bit of speed over that of Cookson.
And I think a lot of the speed that you could try to gain is on the entry of turn 1. It is such a unique corner that you're going into, just slightly going uphill, so you don't have to get on the brakes as much, which allows these drivers to drift a little bit higher to carry more speed. And right now we're seeing a complete difference of Cookson coming a little bit of a higher entry into the corner, while we're going a little bit more shallow and trying to really cut down on the length of this track. But I gotta say, for Cookson, you can just tell the fact that he can carry more speed, he's slightly pulling away each and every lap.
Yeah, he's found his groove. That's what it is there, Sam. This is definitely what we call a rhythm track. And once you get the pass made and you're out there, you know, on your own in fresh air, and you get that rhythm, it's so much fun. It really is. And you said it yourself, he's definitely eking out a little bit more of a lead every lap over Burgoyne, and that boosts his confidence, and it boosts his, you know, ability to just keep hitting those right spots and get his rhythm going.
And right now the rhythm's got to get back into sequence. Max Cookson had a little bit of a falter that last lap and this lap, and now a yellow's going to change everything.
No!
And on the back stretch, it's the 9. Jason Rickard going to be bringing out this yellow, and we get to reset them. Now it's 15 laps to go. John, I got the number right this time.
Yes,
now it tells us what the number is. Yeah.
You sound like a broken watch, man. You're right 2 times a day.
Woo! As here's Jason Rickard's what brought out our current yellow. Oh, it's the wall again. Oh! Well, the wall has never been your friend. And that shows why it's not your friend. The 9's day, luckily still running, is heading into pit road currently, but those types of wrecks could easily ruin your day. Yeah. It might be a little scrambled.
Just about had enough of North Wilkesboro.
It has been a hectic day, I think, for some of these drivers. If we were running the original amount of laps, we actually would have been coming up here in the next 5 laps to halfway for these drivers. So for some, they're happy that this race is ending sooner than it would have been, as it is, again, only 75 laps, 15 laps currently to go. When we go green, it will be 14 laps to go. And looking to see, it looks like we might be having... I'm waiting for a complete confirmation on this, but we could be seeing our 3rd official DNF, as Ashton Burgess seems to be having some internet woes for the 34, so he might be getting disconnected here shortly. But up front for Max Cookson, Burgoyne, those front 2, they were battling strong, but John, Cookson was pulling away and had a nice lead for himself if we had stayed green. But now we're resetting. The drivers get to cool off their tires a little bit more on this restart. I'm wondering, can Burgoyne really make a move? And you've noted on the last couple of restarts, that wheel spin is what's been hurting Burgoyne the most.
Yeah, he's going to have to find a way to get the car going and get that torque down onto the concrete without spinning those tires. Otherwise, he's just going to watch the back end of that 39 car pull away again like he did last restart.
And then also, a driver that was given an EOL and was forced all the way back to the end of the line and had to work his way forward, that of Devin Landry, now up to 4th for the 82, but with the little bit of contact that he has, wondering if that damage is going to be hindering him here, as it's got Max Cookson, Burgoyne, Kyle Mooney, Devin Landry, and that of Tyler Conley going to be your top 5. Chris York, Ed Conley, Brian Treadwell, and also Jason Rickard is going to be your top 9, as drivers are coming in and out, and officially Ashton Burgess has been disconnected. We'll see if 34 wants to get back into the session or if he'll be done for the evening. Most likely going to be done because we're so late into this race. Don't know if he'll be able to get back in, leaving us with a total of 9 drivers on the lead lap. Pace car lights are off. We're going to be going this time by. Again, big thanks to all the amazing sponsors here at Maine Sim Racing Series. But for tonight, we'll see who can get it done at the B&S Scrap Recycling North Wilkesboro Speedway, as it is going to be that of Max Cookson, Burgess, Landry, Mooney, and Conley getting ready for us to go green. Pace car is in. We are green. 14 laps to go. Can we stay green to the end? And once again, a poor restart from Matthew Burgoyne.
On those tires once again, that's going to put Landry on his outside. A little wiggle from Landry, but he still managed to take second spot away. Move him up to second. Mooney's right there on the back bumper. Gives a little bump to the 38 right there of Burgoyne. Things are starting to heat up here, Sam.
Up front, it's Cookson, Devin Landry, Burgoyne, and Kyle Mooney going to be your top 4, and they're moving on, but they're looking in the back. Chris York issues for the 86, and he is on his hood.
Down.
He's a turtle. Help him over. Get him back on all 4. He's trapped. So here's our Pulse Poppers instant replay. And is it the wall or is it another driver? We'll find here on the replay. Coming out turn number 4. Oh, it's a little bit of help. Just a little bit from Ed Conley. And whoa, he found a ramp. The marbles, man. I got to say, John, the marbles are the most dangerous weapon out there on track. You see the little black dots there. Marbles, ramps. That 86 onto his hood.
What? Oh, here we go. Great view right here, folks. If you get seasickness, motion sickness, don't look. It'll be bad.
If you got motion sickness,
You hear him
take your
slide
medication
those
quick.
tires.
Oh, boy.
Oh, buddy. Oh, oh.
Ah.
Hello.
Well, that's not where you're supposed to be looking.
Yeah. If that's what it looks
And
like
then
on
how
your
to
windshield,
take-
something's definitely wrong.
Yeah. You'd see your day's kind of over at that point, as Chris York had to take a tow to pit road. 13 laps to go. We're going to be going back green with 12 laps to go, and Ashton Burgess was wondering if he was going to come back, was able to reconnect the 34 back out on track. 2 laps down is Ashton Burgess, who is in 9th place. And with Chris York having issues, that could be another position for the 34, who's hoping for a better day. But up front, again, Max Cookson, Devin Landry, Burgoyne. We're now going to be seeing Cookson and Landry side by side on this restart here, John. It's going to be a lot more of a battle that we were seeing in the early first 30 laps of this race. I'm wondering if Devin Landry has remembered how to do a restart here next to Max Cookson.
I'm sure he does. And I'm sure that he's been watching his teammate back there struggle on restarts. So he'll have that in the back of his mind as well. I'm really surprised, Sam. I know I said this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. I'm really surprised at the troubles that Burgoyne's been having on these restarts. He was really one of the best at the art of restarting earlier on in the season here at Maine Sim Racing Series.
Oh, I'm just wondering if it's because of maybe the way that they're getting the green flag. I mean, they're getting it right when they're coming around the corner, and they're still kind of turning. It could be just a placement of trying to get back on the throttle. Just little small things. It's a whoa, little bit of a checkup there. I don't think Landry was expecting that hard of a checkup and brake check to happen, but luckily no contact was made between our front two. But gotta be careful as we're about to get the drivers stacked up. Lights are out. We're going to go green once again. Cookson decided to go on the outside here, John.
That's an interesting choice. We'll see how it works out for him. That does, of course, put the teammates down underneath him for this restart. Mooney on the outside in third. This is going to be a great restart, Sam. I think this is going to be the one that really is going to sort things out up front for us. If Burgoyne can get his grip down on the track, it's going to be on.
That's what we're hoping for. It's going to be Max Cookson, Devin Landry, that of Burgoyne, Mooney, and as well that of St. Tyler Conley. Going to be your top 5. Green flag in the air. Once again, a great start for Cookson. Landry wasn't able to get going side by side. Mooney and Landry coming out of turn number 2. And oh boy, Mooney's a little bit sideways, almost getting into the 82. And they got to be careful coming out of turn number 4 here, John, as they're going to be right on top of one another again. And that outside wall just keeps creeping in. They're three wide for second place into turn 1. And somehow Mooney just backs out of it when he thought it was all over.
I tell you what, that was a bold move right there by those two teammates, making it 3 wide. Mooney said, "No, sir, I'm going to pass on that. Thank you very much." But right now, it's still pretty much the way they lined up. It's Cookson, Landry, Burgoyne, Mooney, and Conley in 5th, and Sam. It looks to me like this is going to be Cookson's race to lose.
It really does look like it. We're coming to 9 laps to go. Coming across the line, Max Cookson once again looking strong for this machine and wanting to get another win for himself. Gotta say, we continue to watch the battling for second place. Landry, Burgoyne. It's once they get rolling, Burgoyne seems to find a little bit more speed, but the restarts have been what's been hurting a lot of these drivers. The older tires, that wheel spin's been kicking in. Coming to 8 laps to go for these drivers, and it continues to rage on. Cookson, no one looks like he can challenge him at all as we're coming into turn number 3. Will we see another quick yellow, or will we stay green to the end? Because we stay green, Cookson's looking good.
And why are you going to say yellow like that? No. Don't tempt fate, man.
I love tempting fate. You never know what you're going to get. 7 laps to go. as it's going to be Cookson, Landry, Burgoyne, Mooney, and that is Tyler Conley. Conley, what a surprise for 5th place, but just surviving seemed to be the key really here tonight. As another DNF, Chris York going to be officially done for tonight's race as we continue to stay up front. It's going to be 6 laps to go. Count to 5 here, John, once Cookson comes across the line.
Cookson's got this race wrapped up, I think, man. All he's got to do is just keep hitting his marks, get in, get out of these turns relatively easily. Be careful on that throttle. Don't give it too much goose, you know what I'm saying? Meantime, back here, Landry's got his hands full with his teammate on the in the form of Matthew Burgoyne in that 38 car. And they're fighting. It's just putting more space between themselves and Cookson up there in the lead.
Yeah, I mean, they continue to just race on it, and it's one of those things, and oh boy, it's attempted fate in Fate 1. Yellow flag waves.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. I attempted it, John, and it backfired. As here's our Pulse Poppers instant replay. As it's going to be putting us when we go green again, 3 laps to go. As it's Brian Treadwell that we're seeing here. It might have been ahead of him, and I believe it was. Ed Conley makes then contact with the 48. And there they go on the front stretch, spinning around. That's what brings out our late yellow here. And now we're going to be putting us with 3 laps to go when we go green.
I'm not sure what that was all about. That looked like, I don't even know.
Well, Ed Conley initially, there was some battling in front of the 48.
Yeah.
And then he came down. I don't think that was on purpose. I think he was still trying to save the car when he came down into Treadwell. And from there on out, it was just drivers spinning around on the front stretch. And luckily no one else was involved, but yeah, it's not the types of wrecks you want to see here late, but we know hard racing is going to kick in. Drivers trying to get every single position they can, especially with the fact that it's a smaller field. Points are on the line, so you're trying to gain every single position possible. And with this yellow, it also gives a wave around back to Ashton Burgess. Burgess is now back on the lead lap here, John, as we're going to have 8 drivers on the lead lap when we go green.
Well, Burgess is pretty happy to hear that, right? I mean, the guy was pretty strong, top 5 most of the night. Ran into some telecommunications issues there. Gets back in, gets both of his laps back, and who knows? With the way that this race is going, he still has a chance at actually picking up the win, believe it or not.
If we see, you know, a similar wreck we saw in the middle of the half of the field when we saw our leaders take out, you know, half the field. If we saw that, yeah, gives a chance for Burgess.
I mean, if we're going to go ahead and play with fire here and jinx the race, we might as well just go all the way with it, right?
Oh, and we're just setting fire to the flame. Might as well.
That's it, man. That's it. Cody's
It's
probably
gonna
down in
be-
the trailer prepping a bullet for each of our brains right now. I just wish these two would shut up about cautions.
No. We're fine. If we're trying to extend this out, just as long as we can, we're extending this. Remember, this race was supposed to be 125 laps, so we're still technically, you know, in the first part of the race. And looking at the time of this race, even if we have cautions from here on out, we will still be within the regulation time. So we're good, John. We're good.
What is the regulation time?
These drivers were given an hour and 30 minutes to try to finish out this 75-lap race. Even with caution laps not finishing out, we're coming up to leave the first 50. I think we're in the first 55 minutes of this race, so we still have plenty of time here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going green this time by, and I tell you what, this is going to be an interesting restart, to say the least. It looks like the 39 is once again going to opt to take that outside line, which has worked out for him well a couple of times here, saying, oh, lights are back on.
Yeah, a little bit of complications because of it being so late. Actually, it was kind of things got changed up to a single file restart. Then they were switching up back to double file, and so we just extended it for an extra lap to make sure the drivers were in the right spots. So giving the drivers a little bit of breather. Again, caution laps don't count, so it's okay that we're extending this out for these drivers. Gives them another opportunity, get a breather, get set up, and the lights are out. We're going this time by. It's going to be that of Cookson, Landry, Kyle Mooney, Matthew Burgoyne, Tyler Conley going to be your top 5. Ed Conley, Brian Treadwell, and as well, Ashton Burgess is going to be 8 drivers on the lead lap racing here tonight. As we'll see how well of a restart is Cookson going to get, or can Devin Landry hold on? We're going to be going green. 3 laps to go for the B&S Scrap Recycling here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. And we are green once again. And what a start from Devin Landry. He's going to make contact. Cookson gets moved. They're going to be 3 wide for 3rd place. And just in a blink of an eye, they're going to be still side by side, bumping and routing off one another. Devin Landry to the lead. He gets bumped again. The gloves are off. No patience. 2 laps to go. Side by side going into turn number 1. Oh,
Benzie. Oh, my God.
He's drifted in. Landry, hold on.
Whoa.
Kyle Mooney.
Holy crap.
Kyle Mooney to the inside. Oh, he got both. He just took him out. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Matthew Burgoyne, the missile, just said, nope, you're not winning this race. And just, oh, my God.
I mean, he just yeeted that thing into the turn. What was that?
Okay, first of all, what a drift and save. What a save. And then just send it. You know what? You took out my teammate. I'm taking you out.
Oh, MG, man.
And with that, we were a corner away from the white flag being thrown. Instead, John, we're going to overtime. Our first of potentially 2 attempts.
What to say?
Okay, so here's the
this
drift.
Right here is awesome. That is amazing on Devin Landry's part.
And then just, you know what, send it. We're taking them both out. But a dirty move. That is an absolute dirty move.
Oh, absolutely, man. I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, it's not like his teammate was out of the actual race, you know. He drifted and lost a couple spots, but he was in 4th right back there. I mean, it was hard racing. He did hit a car, you know. But we're gonna sell. I just cannot believe that. That was unbelievable.
Matthew Burgoyne is out of the server. He is left officially, so that that's gonna be dropping the 38 out of this thing. Devin Landry is our leader.
Getting to know Sean as I have these last few weeks, I'm going to say it right here, Sam. I'm saying it now. I would not be surprised if he sat down or going for a couple of races.
I will.
You know, Sean doesn't tolerate that kind of behavior.
No. I will say this, John. You know how we threw out? Ashton Burgess still has a chance to win this thing. The 34 is now up to 4th place. And he's one of the cleanest cars looking out here, possibly. So, who knows who's going to win here tonight?
Right now, if I'm Mooney right now, I'm asking for a break so I can go in and change my pants, man. I don't know how he survived that. Can we get that replay one more time? I just got to see that one more time, man. Oh, my God. I still can't believe that.
Well, our front runner is going to be that of Devin Landry, Kyle Mooney, that of Brian Treadwell, Ashton Burgess, Max Cookson is still in pit road back in 5th place. Burgoyne, who was in 6th, is out of the server. Ed Conley and Tyler Conley they're both out on track. And once we go green, expected to take the 2 positions from Max Cookson and also Burgoyne.
I kind of wish I was in the server now so I at least save the replay and just go back and watch that over and over and over again.
Well, pace car lights are out after an intentional wreck from Matthew Burgoyne to take out that of Cookson that also kind of trickled into collecting Kyle Mooney just a tad bit. Devin Landry now going to be your leader on the outside. We're going to see who can really get the better launch here or who's going to become a missile again. Treadwell is now in 3rd. Who knows what the 48's going to do here or drivers further behind. But, John, the gloves are off. Everyone's just going to do whatever they need to get the win here.
I'm saying, man, I would like to be a fly on the wall in their team speaker Discord channel right now to hear the conversations going on. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I think there might have been a conversation between Landry and Burgoyne of just send it and take them out. Well, the drivers are set. They're stacked. They're ready to go. Lights are out. We've already seen the fireworks start, and it's overtime. If we get the white flag, we race to the end. If we don't, we go to attempt number 2. But we are green. This is it. It's your B&S Scrap Recycling at North Wilkesboro. Going into turn number 1, it's going to be Mooney, who drifts up, gets into Ashton Burgess, and Devin Landry is gone. They're 3 wide for 3rd.
Ashton Burgess, a car that was disconnected due to internet issues, came back 2 laps down, got those laps back. Now he's in second place. Sam looking to maybe run down our leader, Devin Landry, sometime in the next lap and a half. He's got to get it done quick. We're at 1 to go.
It's your CRN 1 to go, and into turn number 4. This race going to be shrouded over controversy, but coming out of turn number 4, getting the win, it's Devin Landry in the 82, Burgess in second, and Brian Treadwell potentially in third. We'll wait for the official confirmation on that, but there are a lot of different talking points, and John, this is going to be a big asterisk over this win because of the shenanigans that hit here tonight. But the 82, Devin Landry, technically, unofficially, gets the win here at North Wilkesboro for the B&S Scrap Recycling. And this is going to be a tough night for themselves as you see the drivers coming in. Oh, Maine Sim Racing Series presented by mainly Douglas Heating and Air. They did it again. What a show. Yes, it wasn't the finish that we wanted coming across the line, but it certainly gave us some great talking points throughout the night as the drivers are parking it. They're done. I think everyone's done. What a night this was. As here's our unofficial racing results. Devin Landry going to get the victory here with that of Brian Treadwell, Kyle Mooney, as well as Ashton Burgess, Ed Conley, Tyler Conley, Max Cookson, Matthew Burgoyne, Nathan Barth, and Chris York going to be your top 10. What a night. And John, here's the final 15 drivers.
Oh, let me catch my breath, brother. Oh, Jason Rickard, Chris Forte, Jacob Heathcourt round out the rest of this field. Tyler Jordan had a rough night. Sean Kimball didn't even start, and he's still fishing at Tyler Jordan. That's how you know you're having a rough night.
He ran a couple of laps. Sean ran a couple of laps
really?
in the beginning. Yeah, he ran a couple.
I didn't know that.
Then he decided to park it. As we're going to step aside for a quick moment. When we come back, we're going to have some talking points to at least our winner. We'll see what the other two think of what happened here. We'll be back in just a few on LSRTV. The Maine Sim Racing Series presented by mainly Douglas Heating and Air for the B&S Scrap Recycling North Wilkesboro Super Speedway race. What a night. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back after an extended little break as we were getting all the drivers situated here. Welcome again. It's the Maine Sim Racing Series presented by Mainly Ductless Heating and Air. As tonight's race at North Wilkesboro had a lot of fireworks. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the finish line post-race show. My name is Sam Dyer. Again, it's John Mustin Jr. joining me up in the booth. And as well, we're going to throw it over to John Mustin Jr., who's got second place finisher Ashton Burgess after not getting his fly flag clear. He actually is going to be getting second place for the 34 machine. Over to you, John.
Yes, sir. Hey, Ashton, my man. Congratulations on a fantastic runner-up spot. I know everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win when they get the race car. But, dude, to come back from getting disconnected for internet issues, 2 laps down, get both those laps back, and still race up to the front, my friend, that's very impressive. Talk to me about your race tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It went pretty good there at the start. I was just trying to ride behind them guys and save my tires, my equipment, and then that big wreck happened on the backstretch, and the car was pretty hurt. But we came and took our tires, and I was pretty confident I was going to be able to follow them boys back to the front and just get a nice solid top 5, and then got new internet in the house, and I guess it decided that it didn't want to work tonight, and so luckily I was able to get back in time and had a couple quick yellows and get my waves, and yeah, that last 5 or 10 laps was just really crazy. I mean, anybody could have won that race right there.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of those final couple of laps there, Ashton, we always this race now is going to be shrouded under controversy after the dive ball missile of Matthew Burgoyne coming in there late. What was going through your mind when you saw the aftermath of that incident?
I was paying attention to the guy in front of me trying not to hit the wall, and then all of a sudden I saw 3 or 4 cars up in the air, and I was kind of able almost to get back to Devin's rear bumper, and I was going to try to move him just to see if I could get the lead there, and obviously we weren't able to do it, but it was just wicked crazy. Boy, definitely wasn't expecting that to happen, and normally we can go pretty clean. We got a good group of guys, so no, it's definitely uncharacteristic of anybody in this group.
Well, Ashton, a great run for yourself, second place. We're now the next race that's coming up is going to be the Street Stocks at South Boston for that of the SS Chili Bowl. How are you feeling about that upcoming race? It's going to be here in 10 days.
Yeah, I just heard about it tonight, but I'm wicked excited. I heard that it could be up to $100 to win with 0 entry fee, so I definitely am anticipating a lot of crazy stuff to happen in that race right there. But something fun to do, wicked excited, but just can't thank everybody that lets me do this enough. My mom, my dad for letting me sit here. Could be doing schoolwork right now, but I'm sitting here doing this. Integrity Pest Solutions, BRF Race Chassis, just everybody, this group of guys. You guys for broadcasting. Sean, he puts in a bunch of work and never really gets the credit he deserves. So, yeah, definitely excited.
Well, Ashton, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, again, just my mom, my dad, Burgess Racing Fabrication, Integrity Pest Solutions, Probo Login, you guys for broadcasting it, Sean, all these, these good group of guys to race with, and I'm excited. Should help with points a little bit, stay in the top 3. So, on to the next one.
Well, Ashton, we also saw this in chat. Congratulations on a second place finish, and also congratulations and happy early 18th birthday to yourself.
Thank you, guys.
As now we head back victory lane. This race is again under controversy. It's going to be a little bit of an asterisk, but we send it over to John to victory lane with that of Devin Landry.
Well, I've got Devin and I've got Sean Kimball. I want to get a word from Sean real quick. Sean's the administrator of the league. Sean, buddy, that was an interesting finish to our race, man. You care to go over a couple of things with us about it?
Yeah, we can go over a few things, sure.
So I'm sure that you saw what happened between Matthew Burgoyne and the other 2 guys. What was your take on that, and what are you thinking as far as a penalty goes?
I don't know. I didn't see anything. What are you talking about? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that was unnecessary and uncalled for, and I've talked to Matt briefly about it. It's a no tolerance policy on that. He parked himself for the race, so that part of it is taken care of. But we need to have a chat before the next event to discuss how that's going to go moving forward. We can't have that stuff happening. So he and I will have a chat about that, and hopefully we can work something out so we can continue racing with us.
Well, I'm sure you guys will. I mean, I've only known you guys for just a few short weeks here, Sean. But from what I've seen, you've got some of the best super late model drivers I've seen in sim racing. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. I've been doing this for 20 some odd years, and this is a very difficult car to drive to start off with. But you've got some of the best I've seen at it, and I know that you as an admin of this league will work your best to get these issues worked out and give us a pretty good show next time by. So we're going to let it sit at that. I just want to get your opinion on it real quick. Thank you so much for your time, my friend. And now we're going to move over here and poke Devin in the back of his head and say, hey, man, you want another one? What'd you think about your race there, Devin? I mean, it looked like this one wasn't as easy for you as some of the past have been. You had your struggles. It looked like you were struggling on restarts just about as bad as your teammate Matthew Burgoyne was. I was telling Sam during the broadcast, I've never seen Matthew spin the tires once, much less every restart. So let's start off with that, and then you can maybe talk about your perspective of the incident and what happened, and then I'll give you over to Sam because I'm sure he's got some questions as well.
Yeah, I really have no comment on that situation. As for the riding from the back, just some unfortunate events. Max got loose. Matt got in the back of me. Didn't get a yellow, so we just had to wait it out. It's just very unfortunate. I didn't want this win. I don't deserve this win. Max had that race won, but I guess that's how it plays out. Matt was not happy, I guess. We've talked, but I'm not really going to go through what we've talked about. It's just... I can't put words to it, I guess.
Well, Devin, I know you can't put words to that incident, but before that incident, you had probably the most spectacular save after the contact going into 1 and 2. Talk about that save and just trying to hold on for yourself.
I see cars going by me and I see people behind me and I'm like, I gotta save this or we're wrecking. So I just turned the wheel right, fed it. Oh, I cut out, my bad. I just fed the wheel to the right, gassed it up, and saved it, I guess. I can't really explain how I saved it, honestly.
Well, it was spectacular from our point of view, but coming into the super late models here tonight, you were the points leader with the win as well. Going to continue on with that, and kind of similar to what I asked Ashton, the next event, we're going to be using the street stocks in South Boston. Going to have some fun with those cars. How are you feeling about that event here in 10 days?
I love the street stocks, but it's a lot of these guys in this league run street stocks a lot more than I do. I really don't race them. I stick to the late model and the bigger cars and stuff. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Got to learn a little bit about it. Probably do some testing this week, within the 10 days actually, and get ready for it.
Well, before we let you go, Devin, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Sean, all those sponsors of the series, you guys for broadcasting, and my parents for letting me do this, and Pull Down Motorsports.
That's going to be the 82 of Devin Landry. Wasn't the way that he wanted to get the win, but gets it done. Devin, good luck here in the next couple of days with practice. Good luck in the street stocks. Again, that race going to be Saturday, January 22nd, and good luck then, Devin.
Thank you.
Well, John, that was our finish line post-race show, getting to talk to at least our top two, and what a race it was. Fireworks before we got into overtime. And again, this race is going to be shrouded over controversy because of the move that Matthew Burgoyne made, taking out that of Max Cookson and as well trimming and hitting that of Kyle Mooney. But John, tonight, a shorter race than we were expecting. That started a little bit later as well, but still good racing. What's come from your point of view? How was tonight?
I thought it was great racing, Sam. I really did, man. I know that at some points in the race I may have, had a little bit of disdain in my voice, but it's a lot better than it could have been. Not as good as it should have been. I'm with Sean and Devin on this. I think that while it was spectacular to see happen and flabbergasting to see happen, I think that we should put this incident behind us and move forward to next week's race. Get ready for that. It's unfortunate that it happened, but race car drivers, Sam, you've known this as long as I have. They're some of the most competitive lot of people on the planet. And sometimes just all that emotion, all that temperament just builds up to a point where it gets released in maybe not quite the best way. So I'm sure that Mr. Kimball and the guys will handle this in-house and get it taken care of, and we will see yet another great racing product next time we come by here.
Absolutely. And again, that next time we're going to be seeing these guys from the Maine Sim Racing Series. Going to be Saturday night for January 22nd. We're going to South Boston for the super late models. But if you are waiting until the next Wednesday event, that will be January 26th, where these drivers are going to be going to Bristol in the late models for 125 laps. So a lot of great racing still to come. Excited for it. But for tonight here on LSR TV, John, thanks again for being up in the booth with me.
Always a pleasure, Sam. Always a pleasure. You and Cody make this thing kind of fun for me, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for what you do. Thank you, Cody, for the wonderful production tonight, man. And thanks again, Sean, for letting us be a part of this.
That's John Mushton Jr. My name is Sam Dyer. Thanks to LSR TV Studios for getting the cameras and graphic packages for you. And tonight for the Maine Sim Racing Series presented by Maine Ductless Heating and Air. Thank you for another spectacular show for the B&S Scrap Recycling at North Wilkesboro Speedway. It was a firework type of a show, and it was Devin Landry in the 82 getting the win. Thanks for joining us here tonight. More racing action throughout the week, as it will be the main of the majors of going to be Sunday when we're going to be having that event. If you are not prepared, it is going to be endurance racing. We're excited for it. We'll see you then. That's going to be our next production here on LSR TV. We'll see you then for themselves. Also, excuse me, we actually going to be having these drivers being prepared for LTAC. Going to be on Friday night. I forgot about that one for these drivers. LTAC going to be a fun one as well to be watching. Thanks for joining us again here tonight. We will be seeing you guys later.